Good morning, everyone. So, today I just want to ask you something, and it's what does a tree means to you? Maybe for some of you, it's just something beautiful, something that you can find in a landscape, or maybe something useful too, because we get wood from them and a lot of things. But you know what? One person just planting trees changed the life of a lot of people. So today for me it's a pleasure to introduce her and to introduce an amazing person, and she is Wangari Maathai. So in order to introduce her, I want to talk about her history, her Green Belt movement. That was a movement founded by her, and finally I will talk about the Nobel Peace Prize. That was the most important prize that she received. So Wangari Maathai was born in Nairobi, Kenya in 1940. 3 years later, she was relocated to Rift Valley, and was so difficult for her because since she was born, she was so interested in study and stuff, but in Rift Valley, she couldn't start primary school. So then, 5 years later, in 1948, yeah, she joined the primary school. So she was 8 years old, so she was a little bit late. And then, when she was 11 years, she joined this group that called Legion of Mary. It was a Catholic group, and this is so important. That was so important for her because that was the first opportunity that she had to help people. And they say something like they were serving God by serving fellow human beings. So that's why it's important for her. And she finally, in 156, if I'm not wrong, she completed her studies, and 4 years later, in 1916, she had the opportunity to start to study at a university. So this year is so important because it was the end of the East African colonialism. So politicians such as Tom Mboya were proposing a lot of things or ideas to different ways to make education available for African students. So she was really lucky that she was one of the 800 students that can join this program. So this time, John Kennedy was the president of the United States, and he promoted that idea. That's why this initiative was called Kennedy Early. So she achieved all of these degrees. She first studied biology, then she did a master in biological science, and finally a PhD in anatomy in the University of Nairobi. So this is so important because in Africa, for women, for people, and especially women, was so difficult to study, to access to even food. It was so difficult for them to and land. So that's why I think this is so brave, because she was the first girl, the first woman that can achieve those degrees or those educational programs. Then, actually she was volunteering in a lot of programs, but this is the most important. National Council of Women of Kenya. This association made her realize that was the root of the Kenyan problems in that time. So she just realized it was about environmental degradation. So she started to working on that, and in 1977 she marched with a lot of people from this association in the World Environmental Day in order to complain about the situation, about the current system about the court system of oppression in Kenya, especially. So they marched from Kenyatta International Center to Kamukuru Park in Nairobi. They planted 7 trees, and again, it's important was the important is because that was the first green belt that they made. So and was called Save the Land Harambe. This then became in the Greenbelt movement. So as I told you, she founded this movement in 1977, and this movement is so important for Kenya because they help a lot of people, and they give them the opportunity to work and make money or have food and the opportunity to plant trees. So they basically divide people. They give a lot of activities to do, like plant trees, combat deforestation, try to help another people, providing them food, providing them land, firewood. So that's why it's so important. And actually, it's really interesting because, as I told you, they just use planting trees to help people. They use actually that direct action to planting trees to prevent a lot of environmental problems and to help people at the same time. Since she started this program or this movement, over 51 million trees was planted, and over 30,000 women was training in different trades like beekeeping, forest, and food processing. And it was so cool too, because they work in these different kind of jobs, and she gave them money just to help her families, because this program is important and is focused on women, especially on women. And finally, after a lot of job with this program, she received in 2004 the Nobel Peace Prize, and was basically because her contributions to sustainable development, democracy, and peace. As you can see, she is a really interesting person. She's a person to admire, not just because she helped people, because she she give for us the best that she can give. So it's really important person for her and for me too. So we talk about the history, the movement, and the Nobel Peace Prize. And finally, she just, before die, she just said something like this, that is like a challenge for everyone. That is, sometimes I tell myself, I may only be planting a tree here, but just imagine what happens if there are billions of people doing something. And yes, so that's me planting trees. That's it.